And here we are in Cambridge, Massachusetts, where my laryngitis continues. It's becoming a harbinger of something or other. And so I shall try very hard to be elucidating my words. I'm trying to explain something to my colleague and friend, Dale Thompson, about a magnificent set of 1820 Florentine Italian workmanship and silver. The model is the power structure of the Roman Empire. The families represent the tying together of Rome, the binding together, and these, of course, are the symbol of the dictator, who was the leading authority figure in ancient Rome. The dictator during periods of turbulence, my God, we'd have one all the time in the United States, and the councils for times of just normal turbulence. This set is crammed with symbolism. But I'll tell you what the important symbolism is. How much did I pay for these magnificent, solid silver Florentine work of 1820? I paid nothing. And how was that, you say? Because the increase of the stock market created more equity. From that equity was generated interest. From the interest was generated purchase of this and the mate that I bought yesterday. In other words, my philosophy is all assets in play. What do you think that means, Mr. Dale?
Well, it just means that you allow your money to work for you, and by doing that, just the interest that it generates is enough to provide a nice lifestyle for yourself
for the rest of my life. This is the thing. The interest in a proposal that generates every day enables me the rest of my life to buy an objet of this quality. How does that sound to you? Today, this is our Surefire Home Business Program. My name is Dr. Jeffrey Lant. I am the CEO, the co-founder of Primary in the world that helps people who want to work at home. And over this of today and the many days, because we're here every day, we will be taking up different aspects of home-based business success. Now here's the face back before I get to the deal for some comments. 95% people striving to work at home make nothing or dribble it so you can't even tell that it is something. 95%. How many people in this room believe that you can avoid being part of that 95 people believe that? Raise your hand, message on the screen, do the hula hoop.
I do.
Down, do it. Sure. Then we're going to challenge you on your own ground. Anybody else? You see, I'm going to say something to folks. You watch me do it. You see me do it. And yet you will not do it. My father said, why do you tell them these things that are intimate about your estate? And I said, because they've never had the chance to see anyone in action. No real person has ever up to talk to them. He's Grammy giving you $5 and say, have a good time, darling. You understand? I decided to be the 1 in 1 trillion person who would not only do the things I talked about, but show you what words I use when I do, so you step up and with other people. And yet say, pay attention and respond. I get nothing. Oh, dear friends, I already know how to do all this, as you can see and watch it. So listen, Dale, for these objects, this has been the second one of 2 days. I took the call on the screen. I talked to the staff on the screen. I talked during the auction. I talked to the people and told them what was going on. I taught them what to do. They knew the price. They already get the information about it. This isn't random. The reason for this, because when you work at home, you have very little interchange with people, and you don't know how to make money and how to use the money once you make it. And while not making money is a sin, not using the money properly when you have it is a completely stupid manifestation of human moronic behavior. Dale, comment.
There's no question about that. I mean, you know, to make money and then not know how to put it back to work for you to make more is just, and if you don't know how to do that, then the simple thing is you need to find somebody or find the information. I mean, the internet is vast, right? You know, there's certainly some crap on the internet, but you know, where there's a will, there's a way, and just don't, you know, like we've talked many times, Dr. Lant, it's comfortable to be broke. It takes very little work. It takes very little jumping out of the comfort zone, and that's what people, they like to be comfortable. And so, to your point, I mean, if you want to be comfortable, then logic would say when you make the buck, go figure out how to put it to work so it makes more bucks. So that's less work you have to do. I mean, that's common sense.
I'm talking to all home-based business people in the audience, and I know that most of you are. You say you want to work at home, but you don't. You want to be at home. And you want to cover up your tracks by saying you want to work at home. Two vastly different things, and never the twain shall meet. How many of you have begun teaching yourself about marketing? When you come to Worldprofit, you're coming to a company that specializes in making you money at home off the internet and on the internet. We don't cut it in some bizarre way. So it's all relevant and germane as far as we're concerned. So I'm going to start you off with a series of books that it took me over 10 years to write. I sat down without realizing how daunting the project really was, and for 10 years, and in excess of 10 years, created the books that would transform the world, only to find out that our readers don't want to market with no whatsoever. Here's one right here. Let's get into the...
Yes, Lawrence, that is correct.
Lawrence, let me ask you a question, Lawrence. Are you trying to make money on the internet, working at home? Are you at home trying to make money? Yay or nay? Yay or nay? And Gertrude, George would like to speak to you. This is the thing that frosts me. Here's Lawrence, who may or may not be worth a penny. He should be sitting up there like one of those dogs with a lapping tongue, saying, feed me, feed me, feed me, Dr. Lant. For 50 years, I've been training people how to make money at home on the internet. 50 years. I've made millions of dollars, and there Lawrence sits, and he won't speak to me. Now, explain this to me.
I can't explain it.
95% of the people trying to work at home, be they off, on, both, will never make more than chicken feed. And by chicken feed, I mean tens, 20s of dollars a month. You people out there who are trying to work at home, pay me to help you. Because I, unlike my liberal colleague, Mr. Thompson, who's a liberal par excellence, and that's his big problem. I'm not a liberal. I'm a realist. I'm a capitalist. I'm a plutocrat. I'm an entrepreneur. But don't you dare call me liberal. Gertrude, are you going to respond, or are you going to just look? Lawrence, are you going to respond? You're already in the doghouse. No, Dale, if someone told you that you couldn't have and then listed 50 things that you wanted that were of value and that cost real money, what would you do? Would you accept? Larry Lawrence has accepted. Gertrude has accepted. Or would you fight hard to get what you wanted? Knowing that the entire country is put together on business. This is not a country. This is a business relationship. And if you can't play business, then you should get out. Now, I hope that anyone on Twitter who's listening to me, don't play the game of money. Don't play the game of plutocracy. Don't play the game of entrepreneurship. Get out there and make money. And in this program, I intend to show you, although I am so dubious that anyone will listen. See, Lawrence is gone to a better place where he'll be better treated. Misery loves company. He's the misery. Now,
the truth.
I've thrown down the gauntlet. I will help any person who presents a reasonable facsimile of personhood. I will show you how to make money marketing at home. Home. E.T. phoned home. You know why E.T. was calling home? To get his messages. Because he was a businessman. He was a gardener. Probably had a nice nursery up there in the sky. E.T. phoned home. Gotta get my messages. Well, Dale, what do you make of that? We have Gertrude, who does not want to respond. Gertrude is going to say she wants to make money. She doesn't want to make money. She wants to give you illusion.
Well, it seems to me that it's just like you say. People are just not willing to do what it takes. As you know, it comes back to the whole thing. It's all a vicious circle. It comes back to the same old thing, and that is, what are you willing to do to create a lifestyle that? Well,
I've told this story many times, but I come from an extremely aggressive family. Everybody is well, let's put it so, this is the nudging creatures that we are. In 1977, when I left Radcliffe College, which was part of Harvard, where I was assistant to the president, destined to be a university president, it was clear. I said, I don't want to be a university president. I don't want to be woken up in the middle of the night to be told that Tommy in the third dormitory is barfing down his sheets. I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night and Angela has ran away with her half-witted boyfriend. In fact, I didn't want to get involved in the small-time problems. There was, of course, the thing of giving up. University presidents are adulated within the confines of their portfolio. Most of the, except when they stay there for 10 years, people get tired of them and kick them out. But most of the time, they really do. I knew that if I came home and said, well, Pops, I need to borrow $1,000 because I broke, he and my brother and my mother would never forget it. Never, ever. I would have suffered for Christmas for the next 50 years. And I wasn't going to give them the satisfaction of saying that. In my family, I get to say that. I don't get it sent to. I sell to you. So, that was in 1977. 1977. Never looked back. And by the time 3 years had elapsed, I was making $1 million a year. $1 million US a year. You know why that happened? Because I leveraged all my assets. All assets in play. What do you make of that?
This is what we're going to do.
Well, I made the decision of this. Okay, I came to the realization that America is not a country, it's an idea. The people who founded it wanted two things: religious freedom and the ability to make money, get out of my place, you friggin' moron, get out of my land. That's what they wanted. They wanted to believe the God they wanted, how they wanted, when they wanted, how much they wanted. Don't, get off property, you evangelical freaking, get off my property, you Roman Catholic bigot. They wanted the ability to do that, and they wanted the ability to make money. So long, those two things were intricately the same. They're part and parcel the same proposition. So, the thing that I see as people come into the Live Business Center to talk about their home-based business, there's no fire in the face. No, there's no fire there. They want the comforts. What they really wanted is more DVDs. Hey, Molly, give me some DVDs while you're out. I have to tell you a funny story. The other day, a friend of mine came over and he had some DVDs in his pocket. I said, you never have any money. He said, they were in the trash. I took them out. And that to me became a metaphor. Don't possibly buy your own. Go to someone else's trash. Get theirs.
It's amazing. I've found here since we started cleaning up the house and put stuff out to the curb to be to be taken.
Yeah, you have a lot of new friends, don't you?
By the garbage. What's that?
You have a lot of new friends, don't you? Going through the
yes, I do. I am amazed at how many people come down the road and then slow down when they go by the house and look at. You could watch their eyes looking at what's in the trash to see if there's anything that they could take. It's bloody amazing. A couple weeks ago, I put a TV out by the dumpster at my wife's house, okay, in her condo complex. I went 10 minutes, and this is no lie. I went out 10 minutes later to take the trash out, and the TV was gone.
Well, eBay is partly responsible for the day standards. I'll tell you why. I have a friend who hasn't worked in any real sense for 20 years. But he does not have a business like I have, and you have. He just doesn't work. With what he does is he buys old records from a shop in Cambridge that's been, one guy runs the shop. And I can never figure out how he makes any money anyway. But he goes in and he buys these records for 10 cents. He sells them on eBay for $25. He's just a transfer agent. eBay has put the whole country to work creating flea markets. eBay is, after all, nothing more than a gigantic flea market.
Yes, that's exactly.
And as we all know, people like flea markets because they get to sit there in their rickety church chair and they look at the people who are trying to steal it either for a steal at low price or as just plain theft. And they sit there for hours and they make it in a day. I don't understand this mentality, but we see it all around us. You agree?
And the people that come are they're even more entertaining. They'll pick up something that's obviously worth it, that's brand new. And if they were to go out in the store and buy it, it would cost them $25. And they'll sit there and haggle. It's got a $1 price tag on it. And they'll sit there and haggle with you.
But you know what? I personally am very happy that it's that way. Because these are people that, had they had any ambition and determination, might have been competitors. Now they're not even on the map. So for those of you who are running a home-based business, did you actually do any business today? Or did you just think you were doing business today? I think that they didn't. They thought about it, and that was it. I absolutely believe that there are only 5% of the people who are trying to establish business home. And I don't mean that. I don't even mean making $50,000 a year. I mean making maybe $10,000 a year. And of course, when the flood comes through, the tornado comes through, all the things are spewed all over the county, they're finished. They get a couple of bucks from FEMA, and that'll be the end of them. I've become very pessimistic about the future of this country, and the few are supporting so many.
Well, that's the whole issue with Social Security is the fact that people are living longer. And,
social insecurity.
Yeah, and they just and people are happy to just take what Social Security gives and think that's all there is for them, and then go complain about it instead of finding a way to change the reality.
You see, it's you liberals that got us into this mess. I don't realize that. But and I am not a conservative. I am a realist.
To a certain extent, you're right. To a certain extent, you're right. I mean, some of the programs were put into place, like welfare. And I don't say that welfare is a bad thing, because there are people that need it. And I have friends currently that are...
How many people do you think who get food stamps, sell those food stamps and buy drugs all within the first hour? Every person on food stamps knows exactly when the clock is for them. Oh, my check will be in my account, and every single one of them knows to the second on that account there. They then qualify for food stamps because they go out and they trade $100 worth of food stamps for $10 worth of whatever.
Yep. Yep. And you know, the other thing...
built-in corruption in the system.
And it's funny, it's not so much anymore, but when we first moved down to this area, Cherry Hill is like you may know, it's right outside of Philadelphia, right over the Ben Franklin Bridge. And between Cherry Hill and the bridge, or in Philadelphia, there's a few towns. One of them was Camden, which at one point in time was a thriving, leader in industry. I mean, all the big businesses were, in Camden, and now it's just like it literally looks like Baghdad.
Let me tell you something. I've been waiting for 40 years to say this coming.
And when you go down the street, on some of the streets you see Cadillacs and $25,000-$30,000 cars, and you look at the house it's parked in front of, and it looks like it's been bombed out by it's just amazing what people, I don't know, do they live in their car? I just don't I don't understand that concept.
Hello.
75 members and guests looking into our Anything Goes program here on Wednesday, May the 6th, 2014.
Let me tell you what happened in that.
You are
I've
serious
been waiting
about
for
making
40
money
years to tell the
online.
world this.
Okay.
You ready? You ready for this deep insight?
Yep.
This is gonna. I hope this is gonna be like a knife in some people's belly, because it should be. Let's take Cherry Hill. Let's take Camden, and these communities which are very well organized and profitable. Used to be around all the rest of it. All right. Race politics got in the way of money politics. People started talking. There was going to be the race wars were there, and the black community made a terrible error to vote in idiots as opposed to competent people. If you want to run a city that works, you have to have technocrats who know how to make it work. And all too often, we've had race politics so that we get candidates who are suitable for the black community, but they don't make the city work. I'll give you one instance. Detroit. When I was growing up, Detroit City was the gleaming pyramid of American industriousness. It was the city that where my father used to. My father was a friend of Soapy Williams, who was governor of Michigan in those days. G. Menon Soapy Williams. And we used to go to Detroit, and my father took a proprietary interest in how good and how everything was streamed, the way America was supposed to be, and we were the leaders of industrials and blah, 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 and we could go on his soapbox. And then we got into the let's just select a person because of their race, their color. And that was so damn. If you wanted to put money in your pocket, you work with the people who can make it happen, whether they're green, black, gay, straight, margins, upside down, I don't care. If they have the expertise to make the city work. And now we have to go back. We have to rethink and and the Detroit is glacial. Now, I want someone to write the book and say, I would like to, before I die, to go before the NAACP and say, look, people, don't vote the party. Vote the man. Find a person who's going to build your cities up and do everything possible to work with them and get over this race baiting, which is still endemic in our society. We're seeing it in Baltimore. White police shoot black boys. This is exactly what I mean. If I were to condescend to run for mayor of Detroit, I'd have Dale on my staff. Dale could do all the marshmallows and the fuzzies and the towels and the things. I would say, don't elect me because I'm white. Don't elect me because I'm not black. Look at what the city needs. Who's going to be best to redo this, to reclaim the sewer systems? Nobody talks about sewers. I hate to think what life would be on this planet without them. Do you agree with me? We had all those years of race politics, and it's costing us big time now. Comment.
Yeah, I think part of it. Don't you feel, Dr. Lant, that part of it is the fact that the lack of education in the inner cities has put people in a position where maybe they're not smart enough to figure that out. You know, all they see is
who brought the standards low. Look at Atlanta. I've been following the Atlanta school. You know the Atlanta system where all the principals and teachers got together to put the students. They answered the test questions. They would sit in a big room all together, filling out students' test questionnaires. I'm talking about the principals, the teachers, and about 40 of them were indicted by the federal. Actually, they not only indicted, they were found guilty in the last 2 weeks. Why is that necessary? The teachers will fill out and will not cheat. I'll tell you what it's about. It's about school stipends. It's about who the state in the season carving up their money. So Dale, when I have nothing better to do, I'm going to run for governor of Michigan or the mayor of Detroit. And I'm going to have the whole damn state up in fuel. Vote for me if you think I can put him to the better sword. Vote for Joe if you think he can. Don't you give me anything about he's black or he's white or he's Asian or he's green. Tell me, who do you think is going to get more of our properties rehabilitated? Put more people to work. There's this terrible thing called race that still cuts right through the middle of the country. And we're beginning to see it, and it's going to be brought to you in living color on cell phones, picture phones. You wait. Over the course of the next 6 months, you'll have 50 more police shooting 50 more black teenagers. And then we'll be on the verge of a race war. But we really need, right in the midst of everything else, let's have a race war. Well, we are talking about Dale Thompson, our ever sedate views, right, for people who are working at home. And I say this, when was the last time all you home-based entrepreneurs had a single piece of good advice given to you on the internet? And how many have had advice that nearly as good as I give you every day? Well, what do you think, Dale? I think that you sit up there and, for God's sakes, I don't know how they think they can get out of bed and make money. And by the way, America was built by home-based businesses. Farms, may I remind you all, are home-based businesses.
No question.
And America was overwhelmingly agrarian until about the First World War.
No question. No question about it.
You know, when I grew up, I went to Benton Harbor, Michigan. We had something, we called her Aunt Elsie, just whose aunt she was, I never knew. But Benton Harbor, in these little dunes in Lake Michigan, if you ever have a chance to go there, they were, in 1955, lovely. And then the automobile started skidding. Benton Harbor in Flint, which is right next door, went into slums. At that time, decisions should have been made about how to bring those cities back by doing anything it took to keep the industry there. When you're in a war to maintain your economic status, you can't say, I don't want this person, I don't want this person, I don't want this person in my town. I say, I'll take a naked gardener if that person's going to bring bucks into the town, if they're going to increase the tax base. So I say, if I were the president, I would help home-based businesses by creating a department of home-based business who would go around the country and tell people how to run those businesses, because that's where the growth of the industry is, in the home-based small business sector. But I don't see Obama, I don't see him talking about home-based businesses. When was the last time you heard him talk about job creation, much less home-based job creation?
They aren't the people that put money in, the Democratic coffer.
People say there's no role of government in small business. My response to that is, there's room for government wherever government can help make money. The government is there just imposing new regulations on people, then there should be no place. But if they're there to increase the tax base by helping these companies, these little itsy-bitsy companies, I don't see, for example, Barack Obama going only small businesses that he patronizes at the ice cream parlors on Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard. That's the only thing. Think of our president. When was the last time that he patronized a small business that you actually thought about it? Well, let's see, he plays golf. That's probably a country club. That's not a small business. He buys T-shirts from Black Dog Martha's Vineyard. What else? This is the president of these United States. He doesn't want to help home-based businesses. Hillary doesn't want to get her fingers dirty. Who the hell is helping the people who are responsible for job creation? People vote for that president. I'm finally talking myself into it. If I got only one vote, it would be worth it to get on all the debates and smash these criminals. Well, Mrs. Pelham, Clinton, Haradam, Schmutzerui, what the fuck have you done for small businesses in your tenure in the Senate of the United States? Whoa! And then front page of the New York Times. And the race is on. What would all you liberals do if I was out there?
Jerry Lant
making
crushes.
Jerry Lant for president. I could just see how the buttons would be. It would say Jerry Lant and then a big red slash from Jerry.
Yes.
You know, I sit here as a person who's been involved in the economy for a long time. I mean, making the economy, not just living it, but making it. And I look at all these candidates and I say, what have you done to help build export markets for small businesses? You know what we get instead? I tell my stories about Canada. You know, in the early days of Worldprofit, I would go up to Canada frequently, a couple, 3 times a month. And on one occasion, the Canadian authorities looked in my bag and say, why are you here? Well, I have friends here. You have friends who would see you 3 times a month, as if I might be so detestable that I could never.
Yeah.
You see here that you claim to have written these books. My luggage is filled with my books, which have Dr. Jerry Lant's name on. You claim to have written this book. There are like 50 copies. Yes, I do actually. That is my name, as it appears on my passport. This is the way government acts. Instead of saying, whoop-de-doo, you're here to help Canada get richer, give them a big kiss and a break, they act out their petty roles to block. Do you know that I can't buy a present for George and Sandy in the U.S. of A. and get it shipped to Canada without a major furor? I cannot get an orange across the border between Montana and Edmonton. What is anyone thinking of? It's the companies, the small businesses, the home businesses that produce the growth. And when I get to be president, I'm going to turn all these people over to have them rake the grounds and clean the toilets. You want cleanliness? Over there. The green number 1. Dale, it will be fun running for president with you. What do you want? What do you want? What spoils do you want?
I'll do anything, Dr. Lant. I'll do anything. Whatever you need me to do.
We're the only 2 people in America who believe that.
Well, I don't know where my...
Go on.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say just about Iowa. All you Iowa home business folks, and remember, that means FARM. Hillary won't touch you. If I said to Hillary Rodham Clinton to touch a farmer who just come from milking the cows, she'd faint. She'd absolutely faint. She doesn't like cows. She doesn't like mud. She doesn't like that sucking sound they make. She doesn't like going out of the barn and being hit with a bale of hay. This is not going to be the first time we see someone unelect themselves. The Democratic Party is going to unelect Hillary. And then they're going to find they have no candidate at all.
Yeah, well, that would be a problem. That would be a problem.
Now, I want to say something to all of you folks looking from the window. You have a choice. You can come in and join with us and give yourself a chance to be one of the 5%. Or you can sit up there on your haunch and do nothing and always be in the 95%. And if you come in here and you tell me that you're going to make money with nothing, I'm going to tell you you're Sometimes this is going to sound more, you could just fill in effort. But sometimes over the last several years, I've sat here thinking, you could put me in the White House on my head. Now, I'd be a better president than Barack Obama ever could be. You know why? Because I call upon the strength of the American people to be religiously free, to get rid of the terrorists. And I want to say this, I've been meaning to say this for long. Now, in my platform for president, if every civilized country on this planet declared in one day, terrorism out, and going after the terrorists and resolve to just kill them off, the terrorists might get the message. And we're going to root them out like rats. I'm tired of this argument about they have rights too. No right to behead a child, a young girl. No one has that right. I don't care what their God says. Where are the, oh yes, you get the Mrs. Merkel and Mr. Cameron to come out and say, oh, this is reprehensible. All of them say it's reprehensible. All of them to do with him. I want to get these rats out. Just the way we used to do it with mice in the kitchen. Put a trap there, put some cheese in it, and catch them and cut them off. Ooh, I'm sounding more like Rambo every day. How did that happen? Ooh, Rocky Balboa and Jeffrey Lamb. Who could I have for vice president? Now, I want to say something. Your guy, Chris, has been out of the papers now for a month. What's the story on this?
I don't know. I haven't been following him as I should. But
I think lots of people haven't been following him.
As we get closer to people throwing their hat in for president, I will start to.
In his case, I really throw in the bathrobe. Look, just this week, 2 or 3 of his closest associates were indicted on the George Washington Bridge scandal. Now, you know that was liberal. And you know that he had to know. He probably didn't pay very close attention to it.
No. What his problem with things is he probably knew, he just didn't do anything about it.
Right.
And that's what made him come off. Maybe, or if he didn't know, that to me, that's dereliction of duty, because he should have known.
Yes.
He should know.
Especially if anybody's involved.
He should know everything that's in his administration. And if someone is responsible for letting him know that, because obviously he can't be in 56 million places at one time, then that person should be gone like the minute after it happened.
It's true.
No, I don't care. I don't care why you didn't tell me, or I don't care that you didn't know, or I don't care that, the fact is you should have. And just the fact that I was not informed, your head's on the top.
Hindsight is 2020.
I don't need you here. Because then he becomes a legal, he becomes a political liability.
Correct. And that's why I think he's been laying low. But I want to bring up Patricia just a minute for some words. But, I've often thought that if Richard Nixon, instead of going for cover-up, went on television the morning after and said, some terrible news has come my way. You're all going to think that I did this, but I not. I had some overzealous campaign workers. They let it break in and enter.
If he would have owned up to it,
he would have taken charge of it and then turned it over to an independent counsel like Archibald Cox. By the way, I met Archibald Cox in those days. I met Archibald Cox under kind of weird circumstances. He was the guy that resigned as Solicitor General, along with Elliot Richardson and somebody else. That year,
did
Harvard commencement
up on your front lawn, did he?
Well, in a matter of fact, he kind of did. On commencement day, it was very rainy, and so the afternoon ceremonies were washed out. So there were about 20 of us, where there would usually be thousands. 20 people braved the rain, and he put us under a tarpaulin, and he gave us a lecture, a seminar on Watergate. It was brilliant, and it was in the rain and the mud. Everybody was soaked, and everybody knew that this was important, what he was saying. So in the funny sort of way, of a grad, not my particular grad,
Right.
I may claim to be what I said. We simply need people to tell the truth and say, look, my guy screwed up. I turned it over to an independent counsel. I will not interfere. I will let the independent counsel do the work. Appointed somebody of utmost, like Ellie Richardson or Archibald Cox. And that will be the end of it. You know, Pat
It's the same thing.
Oh,
it's the same thing with Clinton. You know, it's the same thing with Clinton. If he would have just come out and said, "Hey, I'm human. I screwed up. I shouldn't have done what I done." You know,
screwed up. Yes, that would have got a nice double entendre right there. You would have been fired as a speech. You would have been fired as a speechwriter.
I mean, it would have saved the country a whole bunch of money, and you know, him a whole lot of embarrassment, and you know.
Look, everybody knows who knows anything. Knows that the handsy, patsy boys in college were not exactly virgins. They were handy for a reason. It worked.
Yeah.
The more sugar pieing you could do, oh, sugar pie, you are the sweetest little girl I ever did see. Oh, sugar pie, I just love the way you smell. And think of this litany of spin. I was not able to say sugar pie in that way, but I learned. I now can say it like this. Ladies and gentlemen, right? Dale Thompson and I, along with many other monitors, will be up in these precincts over the course of the next weeks and months and years. Don't sit up there and be broke. Don't try to do your home-based business on your own. It's stupid. It won't work. Go to JerryLant.com, get yourself some marketing books, read them, follow the directions, and stop being so damn arrogant. In your present position, arrogance is nothing short of a synonym for stupidity. Dale, why don't you go down for a minute? We'll bring up Patrice for a few words, and you come back and we'll finish it up.
Okie dokes.
And we have Miss Patrice Porter coming up. Who has a home-based business
president.
too.
Yes. I kind of lost faith in governments.
Well, you know, when you see some of their opinions, it's not such a bad idea.
Oh, definitely. I would far rather have you as president than, as I say, I've lost faith in governments and I don't spend much energy in that direction. I'd rather put my direction elsewhere. And whenever I do find a candidate that I believe in, and you know that.
But you see, for example, when we have a problem at Worldprofit, and we do have, every business has problems. I bring it in here into the Live Business Center and let's solve this.
Yeah, it's about
the presidency
solving
of the United States should be as transparent as possible, jeopardizing our spies.
Yeah. And the world would be a far better place for it, and that get more of those problems solved instead of developing more. But anyways, if people want to watch the recording of this, the replay of this program, you can catch it on the YouTube channel Patrice Porter, and also up on our Worldprofit Tube at www.worldprofittube.com. And you can check out my Home Business Central at 20waystoprofit.com. And also I help people create abundance by gardening at www.gardeningforfoodsecurity.com. And I just want to give a thank you, Dr. Lant, for what you do here and helping us along our way to develop profitable businesses and the nudges we need so that we do put our assets into play and can have a chance at being in that 95%. And it's always very inspiring listening to you And thank you once more, and we'll see you on the next Anything Goes
Well,
Surefire Home
fire
Business
me.
Success. 1 p.m. Eastern. Bye for now.
That's Patrice Porter with her home business. We have Thompson with his home business coming up. I've got one. It's the in thing.
All one big happy family.
Okay, I missed your last line.
I said we are one big happy family.
Well, I think what's unusual about Worldprofit is we just tell it like it is. The people that come in here are often deluded and delusional. But I'm too old to be delusional. Besides, I like money. And I'll tell you one thing about money. When all the water in the world is tainted and impure and all the skies are gray and with carcinogens and all the animals are dead and all the plants are dead, there'll be plenty of money. Money is man-made and there'll always be. I like the story that I read the other day. Barack Obama walked out of the Treasury Department during the 2008 recession and just ordered them to print some more money. Well, give it a couple of billion today. And nobody would know. The economy is so big, you could literally pump several, I don't know how many billion dollars into the economy. No one would even know. We'd just be in there. Boy, I can hardly wait. I'd go in and say, hey, print me an extra 100K before lunch. Dale, do you have some last thoughts for the folks?
I do. I hope I'm not at a turn here because it's dangerous religion into any subject. But those of you out there that believe some God, if life isn't what you want, you were born with the inalienable right to so through the power of your words. Subconscious is a very, 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 very straightforward thing. It's a computer. Crap in, crap out. It's as simple as that. It gives you what you think, what it thinks.
It was garbage in, garbage out.
Garbage in.
You are probably the only two people who know that anymore. Gigo. Garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah, garbage in, garbage out. So you have within your grasp the power to change your reality. But you need to change what you tell yourself. I spent the better part of the morning this morning. So I still have those negative thoughts that come into my head, and I fight with them every day. And I was outside in the backyard, and I was doing something outside, and my neighbor actually looked at me and thought I was absolutely goofy because I was screaming at myself, literally telling myself, screaming at myself that I am successful. I am,
Dale, perhaps less of a scream. I don't want you locked up in a state mental facility. Perhaps a quiet scream. Perhaps a clacker. Perhaps a quieter scream, so the neighbors don't turn you in to the nut house.
Yes. They may just do that because it's all about what you.
Okay, now it's clear that we're all going to learn from some touches that I have in favor of that. We're going to shift over. Dale, do you stay for the next hour?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I'm up for the next hour.
Now remember, everybody, because it's the 800-pound gorilla, we must always mention home-based business. And the more we say it, the more George tells us our placements go up. Hello, this is Dr. Lant in his home-based business in Cambridge, the scene of many home-based businesses. It's that kind of thing. I'll be back this evening for a while. In a while, Dale will take over the command of the ship.